I hope Mike can get us a good deal tonight.
Sure he will.
Sal, Tom, the boss says he'll come in a separate car. He says for you two to go on ahead.
Hell, he can't do that. It screws up all my arrangements.
Well, that's what he said.
I can't go either, Sal.
Tell Mike it was only business. I always liked him.
He understands that.
Excuse me, Sal. Huh?
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Can't do it, Sally.
Joyce the bitch should get fired.
Absolutely.
Joyce the bitch should get fired. Oh! How the hell did she get hired?
Oi!
Joyce the bitch should get fired.
Yes.
A highly respected corporate lawyer. So she may say, but she ain't. Here's a bitch who don't have a clue on what she's doing, but somehow she tickles their taint.
Sounds like an A.
Joyce the bitch should get fired.
All right.
Joyce the bitch should get fired.
Oh.
How did that dumb broad get hired? Joyce the bitch should get fired. The sourpuss holds up bimbo. Sticks her ass where her nose should not go.
Rectum.
Beautiful long hair, get a teaching job at Regis and stop destroying our show. She goes! Joyce the bitch should get fired. She goes! Joyce the bitch should get fired. She goes! How in the hell did she get hired? She goes! Joyce the bitch should get fired. Everyone at QAM! Joyce the bitch should get fired. She blows, she blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired. She blows, she blows. How did that dumb broad get hired? She blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired.
All right. That was new. Nice.
Now, let me ask you, how many times am I going to play that before we get a phone call? The old corporate doesn't want you to play that Fitch bitch. Yeah, me and Mama. Especially now that everything is all loosened up, okay? No more instructions from that bitch, from that cow. Anyway, it's Wednesday, and that means it's Marlin Baseball Day, and it's Woodbine Wednesday, too. 5 cents only. Nickels, man. Nickels and pennies and dimes and stuff like that. What do you think?
Yeah, right. Okay.
What do you mean by that? Can I explain something to you?
Please do.
And the people out there who think that they know something about slot machines. I said this a few days ago, and let me tell you again. When you play these low-denomination machines, even pennies, but especially the 2 penny and nickels, they have all. It's a scam because you have your little screen in front of you, which, by the way, who the hell can make out what it is? You know, all the digital stuff and the lines. You hit the button and the lines show up and connecting this and that. You can't figure out what you got. You have to trust the computer telling you what if you want something. But anyway, so there's like maybe 10 lines. Well, 10 lines times a nickel is 50 cents. And maybe you want to play 3 credits per line. Well, there's $1.50 every time you hit the button. So it's worse. It's actually more expensive than playing the dollar machine. You see what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Well, I'm just passing that along. So anybody who thinks that playing nickels or quarters or whatever is automatically a panacea to not blowing your lunch all over the machine, well, good luck to you. I'm just explaining that. I'm not trying to get anybody going, like that one guy said that they called in, well, Neil, what's a good machine? And I said, one that pays you. That's a good machine. What a schmuck. So many stupid people and so little time. Anyway, here's the poll result from yesterday. Better talk real fast today, guys, because we only have 2.5 hours. In fact, we've only got 2 hours and 26 minutes. Yesterday's poll, which really sucked, although we did okay. We had, what did we get, 1,200 during the show?
Something like that, yeah.
Over 1,200. Boy, I'm really impressed. 13 out of 25 was the total. That's because I chopped it off later on, not that much later. If I hadn't been born an American, I'd prefer to have been born a blank. Canadian, 371. Good choice, eh? Canadian. European, 308. Another good choice. Although I asked Josh yesterday, like, what did you say finally?
I said Spain. I mean, there are a lot of places, that I...
Why?
Why Spain?
Yeah.
I know someone who's been there, and it sounds like my kind of lifestyle.
Your kind of lifestyle? What does that mean? They drink a lot.
Yeah, from starting to go out at about midnight, party till about 8 to 10:30 in the morning.
I think maybe Germany, where they start drinking at about 9 o'clock in the morning, would be good.
Well, I'm not.
But I just, passing that along.
Too into that, but. I'm a night guy. Yeah.
Let's face it, you're a drunk. Why don't you just admit it?
I'm not a drunk,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Drinking on the weekends makes me a drunk. I love to get drunk,
weekends?
but
You're
I don't
going
need
to Vegas,
it.
You said all you're going to do there is get plastered.
Oh, like you've never seen.
Well, there you go. You're a drunk. I'm a fat slob. I'm an ice cream addict, and I'm not addicted to gambling, but it's fun. Scandinavia, 254. Been born in Scandinavia. Swede, or a Finn, or a Wegian, 254. Martian, 173, and believe me, we've talked to many of you, and trust me, a lot of you qualify. I wasn't born an American, thank God. Actually, it says thank God. 125. 125 people out there. I wonder if they got their purple cards yet. After that, it's like nobody wants to be from these other places. South American, 22. Cuban, 19. Asian, 18. African, 18. Mexican, 10. And Central American, only 7. Well, I guess there's a lot of poverty in Central America. In fact, all over Latin America, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of poverty. Who wants to be born a schlepper? Who wants to be born brainwashed and, uncircumcised? Put all those ingredients together and you got for a very marginal existence. You're going to get 1,000 by 12:30? What do you think? We got 767.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You think?
Definitely.
By 12:30?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's the challenge today for Chris. In his first speech on the Senate floor after returning from Congress's Memorial Day recess, Senate Majority Leader, the unctuous and pasty Harry Reid of Nevada, blasted George W. Bush and his administration for ignoring pre-war intelligence that specifically predicted long-term chaos in Iraq, the likelihood of a bloody civil war, and the capacity of the invasion to actually strengthen al-Qaeda. Citing a report by the Senate Intelligence Committee called Pre-War Intelligence Assessments about Post-War Iraq that was released the Friday before the holiday weekend, Reid asserted that the Bush administration cannot hide behind ignorance, although sometimes that's a good excuse. Like that. Like our management, for example. I don't know what to tell you, Neil. Well, what does that mean? It means like that. Oh, tomorrow morning is the trend. Oh, baby. Tomorrow morning is the trend, which means we're going to have some numbers to pass around. Whether out of hubris or incompetence, the President and his men willfully ignored the experts and our troops to battle unprepared for the consequences, Harry Reid be saying. Some might say what is past, he say. If the President, and by the way, you just watched that Republican debate last night? I sure as hell did not.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't watch that if you'd paid me by the second.
I'm with you.
Now, how come they got this speaker guy? Now, is he actually going to testify there in person before the Senate? Andrew Speaker's the guy with the TB? There's Julie Geberding with the very bizarre hair. She's from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. They sure made a big simus about this, and CNN's carrying the whole damn thing.
Client with medical advice.
Yeah, there you go. Medical advice, my ass. Some might say what is past, Harry said. If the President's pre-war failure was a one-time event, we could maybe say forget about it, even though that would be hard. But if the President's pre-war failure was a one-time event, we could leave it to the historians to study and judge the tragedy of his incompetence. But even today, after almost 3,500 American deaths and more than 20,000 wounded, the President continues to cherry-pick facts in order to paint a rosy but very misleading picture of Iraq. Rosy but misleading. Remember Rosie from UM?
Mike Rosenthal. W News Time is 4:22.
Yeah, Mike Rosenthal. He's still probably there at UM baseball, like what's his name, Rokeach, with the gefilte fish and the soup and stuff like that. Dill pickles. The report was that one Intelligence Committee Chairman Jay Rockefeller vowed to bring to the public view before Memorial Day holiday after years of the do-nothing Republican Congress refusing to even examine the issues for fear of harming the already tarnished White House. And it goes on and on and on. Harry Reid said this, Harry Reid said that. And, you know, that and 40 cents will buy you like about a small turd. 777, boy, I sure like the way that looks on that poll. Isn't that neat? I mean, 666 always looks good. But when you get that 77, it reminds me of WABC and stuff like that. I wonder if Chubby Checker's still alive, right? He's not dead.
Yeah, he's alive.
Well, how do you know that?
I remember you bringing up that question, and we looked it up.
Well, thank God for that. When Chubby Checker dies, that's going to be a sad day. I don't know why. A lot of people are going to be twisted, baby. They're going to be twisting the whole night and day away, like Josh is going to be doing in Vegas, where he's going out there to get laid behind his girlfriend's back. That's bad.
Stop it.
What? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking with you, for crying out loud. Although that was a very nervous response, wasn't it, Chris?
Definitely.
Like that nervous laugh we had yesterday. You wouldn't be doing a thing like that. Not when you got a real hot girlfriend that's very loyal and faithful and brings all the vodka home and stuff like that. Now, did you say she works? What's she do? Oh, that's right. We don't want to talk about you guys' girlfriends. Here's today's poll. Who's your favorite Democratic contender? This is after Sunday night's Democratic debate. I got them all on there. Poor Chris Dodd, man. Nobody knows who he is. He's a good guy, too. But anyway, 782 vote. I bet you if I click that, we might have 788. Oh, they're coming in chunks now. They're coming. What is it? What have you got going with the audience, Chris?
I'm telling you, it's called
No
sympathy.
matter what you need, boy, they come through for your ass. I wish they do that for me. They come through for you big time. Maybe they like fat people.
They would be coming through for you, too, then.
Yeah, but I'm not as fat as you are.
Ah, that's what it is.
You got about 70 pounds on me, or 60 anyway. Anyway, favorite Democratic contender, Barack Obama. Thank the Lord, 260. You go, man. He is the man. Hillary, 125. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's because you're pumping Barack on the show, Neil. That's what. Well, so what about it? Maybe all the Hillary people are gone. Too bad. 125. He beats her by better than 2-1 on here. He's got 33%. She's got a little under 16. Little Dennis Kucinich, 105. That's because we've got a perspicacious audience that realizes that even though he's got certain liabilities, he says the right things. You know what his biggest liability is?
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Yeah, that's probably it. Bad hairpiece, about 2 feet tall. Dennis Kucinich, 105. He's a strong third. John Edwards, 101, speaking of hair. In fact, I guess that's the two biggest things he's got going for himself is that he's got an expensive haircut and a wife with breast cancer. None, I'm a Republican, 92. Now that, 11.5% of this audience are Republican. Wow. Holy rat man. Bill Richardson, 55. Mike Gravel, 45, who also says a lot of the right things but has no chance. And Chris Dodd, soltanto otto, solamente ocho. He's only got 8. And if I click that thing in, we might be 801. They're coming in big chunks for Chris. Man, you ought to reach over and kiss that microphone.
Take it, baby.
Bye-bye, Cindy, Cindy, bye-bye.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for trying and wasting your time. I can't blame you for saying I've had it. Everyone's brains are washed automatic. They care more about American Idol and getting spoon-fed mindless vile. They won't know till it hits home for them. Bye-bye, Cindy, bye-bye. Go home, relax, girl, why even try?
10-18. Nice try, Cindy. I feel bad for her, man. I feel really tragic. Not just for her, but of course the parents and the wives and the kids and the brothers and the sisters and the friends and all of these people of those nearly 3,500 American kids that have been just slaughtered over there for nothing based on lies.
And counting.
And of course the beat goes on. A bunch more violence over there today. I know that's a real shock to all of you. So anyway, speaking of shock, Brady Anderson, remember we were talking about him yesterday?
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
And he went on during the off-season a few years ago when he was playing. He went on a trip to Rome with one of the other players, Scott Erickson. Remember Scott Erickson?
Yeah, I do.
Gay.
At any rate, they went on a trip, the two of them together, to Rome.
I'm sorry, is there the rest of that story, or?
No, I just told you that. You can assume whatever, you can make whatever contusions you want, and I have a feeling they were munching on more than just pasta. Maybe a little Pappy Rooney, something like that. I don't know. I just found that very bizarre because there were always all those rumors about Scott Erickson. Then, of course, Brady. Now, let's see. Canis Mas Macho. I guess the answer is obvious. Tom Brady, Brady Quinn, or Brady Anderson. Oh, Brady Anderson.
You fair.
I mean, he's not even in the running on that one, right? I guess we got to say Tom Brady since he's even though you guys don't like him, he's impregnating all those chicks, those hot chicks. So he must be the most macho. Brady Quinn, we don't know, but he sure did let me put my hand down his pantaloonies on the backside. Next time he comes to town, maybe I'll try the other side. You never know. Although he needs to change that pink complexion. 834 votes on the poll. Maybe he was just blushing. You think that was it because he was standing next to me in that picture where I had the orange complexion?
Oh, maybe that's what it is. You made him nervous.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I turned orange. Maybe he was making me nervous, especially with my hand on his
Rectum.
cheeks. But anyway, 834 votes. I'd get pretty nervous, I'll tell you that. 8:35 now. Boy, you're going to make the 1,000 by 12:30, and then the whole town is going to be buzzing. Boy, not about me, about Chris. Boy, that Chris, he's a regular vote magnet. You might get hired by the candidates because you're such a vote magnet.
Good for Chris.
Yeah.
If it pays better, hey.
See, even Mo is big on Chris. Now, let's see. He wasn't there when you started, was he, Chris?
Oh, that whole Joe Rose bit?
Yeah.
I was the guy running the board that day.
Really?
Yeah, it was a Saturday morning show, and I was the one running the board.
The Joe Rose bit. I wonder what that's under. Is that this one?
I want to give you an update of what took place just now off the air.
You mean that one?
Yes.
Come on back, Joe. We want you back real bad. And we don't have Mo no more. We don't have to worry about that.
And
I beg your pardon?
I was going to say about that.
Yes.
Hagen was the other guy that was there that also talked to him off the air.
Right.
And when they tried to find out, that was a Saturday, so come Monday, they're asking him about it, and he's like, oh, no, I don't know if it was him or not. And then I find out about this whole thing about 2 days later when they call me, and like, oh, well, Dave Hagen said he wasn't sure if it was him. So when I see Hagen, I'm like, how are you going to sit there and say you don't know it was him when you talked to him 3 times? Oh, well, I don't want to get in the middle of anything.
Oh, what a wuss, man. He's long gone, isn't he, Dave Hagen?
Yeah, he's a good guy, but
He is a good guy. I liked him. Not a lot, but I liked him. What?
You didn't like him like Brady Quinn, but you liked him?
Now, well, what does that mean? He didn't look like Brady Quinn. If he looked like Brady Quinn,
I'm saying you didn't want to give him a pat on the ass, but you liked him.
No, I don't forgive anybody. Did I give you a pat on the ass in the elevator, Mr. Smartass?
No, you didn't.
No, I did not. I never touched you, man.
I think he's a little sad that
I saw you like 6 times the entire time. You were never here, man.
Right. I'm talking about in the elevator when we were in there alone. When you extended your hand, and I said, be careful where you put that, sweetheart.
Oh, I thought you said he extended his tongue.
Shook hands, you stuck your tongue way down my throat. I was gagging. Now, it was like I said, you're all right. And I don't ever see you, and that's why we get along so good. That's why all of us get along well. I don't see anybody. Don't you find that absence makes the heart grow fonder, or whatever that means?
Yeah, something like that.
When you're there, it's like you're hostile with everybody, In fact, I don't remember what his name was. The sales manager before this one, the one that followed Screw-Ann that was there for about 5 minutes.
Curtis Raymond?
Kurt, that's it.
Now, what did Hank call him?
I don't know. At any rate, the last time I was there, or when he was still there at any rate, I don't know if it was the last time, but one of those last times I was there. Oh, look at that. This guy jumped over and tried to get to El Papa. Tried to get to the Pope. Did you see that? Maybe you want to give him a big kiss on the lips, and the Pope probably would have smiled, and you want my little red shoes? But anyway... so I opened the door. I was leaving at 2 o'clock, and I opened the door to leave. You know, that door that goes out into the hallway there?
Right.
And Curtis, the sales manager, came in who hated me like poison because Hank and I were ripping him on the air. He had no sense of humor, real jackass.
Yeah.
He gave me a look. He didn't, not hi, Neil, how you doing? Oh, my God, just a look that would kill.
Yeah, he didn't have what we call personality.
He needed a personality transplant. He gave me a look that was like that. Maybe even like that, too. Ooh. So I could tell he wasn't too fond of me. And you know what? Who cares? I'm not there to win no popularity contests. And we'll see tomorrow morning if we're here to get any numbers or not. I don't know. I don't know if we... Now, what are you guys thinking? We're going to have a little bounce back in this trend?
Yeah, definitely.
You both say yeah.
Yes.
Why is that? Based on what?
Based on it's never,
past performance.
Never rains in California?
There you go.
Based on it's never what?
Past performance.
Well, we all went down and, across the street looked. I mean, that was a fluke,
Yeah, they had that bogus January, and we had a bogus
when
January.
Does that happen?
Nobody gave us anything in January. We didn't get no diary support from the crowd, and none of our people, I guess, got any in January, and so we got really screwed and tattooed. Kind of like what's going to happen to Josh in Vegas. Anyway, who's your favorite Democratic contender? 800 and, let's see if we can get to 850. 847. Barack Obama, 287, 33.8%. Hillary, 128, 15.1%. She's going down. She's dropping down. He's just thumping her ass. At least, I say let's just have our audience vote in the election. What do you think?
That would be good.
President Obama. Sounds good to me. Dennis Kucinich, little Dennis with a very bad hairpiece, 111. He says all the right things. He makes good sounds with his mouth, but he's a silly guy. John Edwards, 105. He's the real silly guy, and people take him seriously. When somebody starts talking with that real drawl, oh, God, that just... I know, it's prejudice. I can't help it. I have real bad prejudice against people that talk with real heavy Southern drawl. Y'all come back now. None. I'm a Republican. 102. That's up to 12%. I don't know if I believe that. Do you? 12% of this audience are Republicans?
Yeah, I believe it.
Wow. Bill Richardson, 58. How about Bobby Richardson? He doesn't have any. He was in that story yesterday about, who was he in the story about? Oh, Cleet Boyer. Remember he died?
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby Richardson said this, and Bobby Richardson, there was a guy who was a good-looking kid, played second base for the Yankees. He was good. Born-again Christian, though, and then I kind of turned on him.
As good as that last, what was it, the third baseman you said was good? And I looked up his stats, and he was a complete turd.
Cleet Boyer was a great fielder. I never said he was a great
he might have been a
hitter.
great fielder, but...
Didn't we go through that yesterday? The guy just died. You want to just pee on his parade now that the guy is dead?
You know why Neil liked him.
No, he wasn't all that good looking. He was a decent looking guy, but he was no...
what do you mean you said it yesterday?
He was no Dalton
he
Jones,
was a good-looking
I'll tell
guy.
you that. He was no Dalton Jones.
Bill
Richardson's 58, Mike Ravel 48, and Chris Dodd only 8. Soltanto Otto. Very bad for poor Chris Dodd from Connecticut. And that's because nobody has any idea who he is. And he's also, I don't know. He's like an intellectual. 856, nobody wants an intellectual. That's why they elected Ike over Adlai Stevenson twice. An illiterate ex-general who had no qualifications whatsoever, and they had all those bumper stickers, I like Ike. And Adlai Stevenson was bald and divorced, and had a personality like a dead man, kind of like Vocamper. 26 after 10 at 560 WQAM. Marlins and the Braves, they split that doubleheader yesterday. They played all day long, and the end result was washout, basically. But they're playing at 12:30 this afternoon, and the pregame anyway. We're going to get the hell out of here. In fact, I'm going to get out of here about 12:20. Because my cabbie's got, he's got somebody to pick up at 1. I don't want to, arrange the show based on my cab driver, but you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And don't forget now, you guys, both of you, have some nice long instrumental crap ready for about 12:26.
Okay.
Can you handle it? Some nice long instrumental that you can fade right into the open, okay? You don't have to do anything special. Don't have to make sounds with your mouth.
Jose, can you see my coyote's flashlight cross the border today as the Minutemen were shooting? Drove 10 guys in one car through the desert all night. To the protest we marched, but they just thought we were looting, and the farms were all bare, the fruit waiting for us there. Give us amnesty rights, and we'll pay our fair share. Jose does not understand the English you say. Give a break to him and me, or we send another wave.
10:32. Yeah, muchas gracias. Or as they say in España, muchas gracias. 10:32 at QAM. We got Marlins baseball coming up. Pregame at 12:30. Marlins and the Braves at 1:05. Any interest?
No.
Then you got the Humper from the ESPN zone in New York at 4:30 because we got the Belmont Saturday. Friday we'll be talking to Dave Johnson. Street Sense isn't even running. He's skipping the Belmont.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And then you got the Dolphins All Access 7 to 9 tonight. 2 hours of that stuff. Wow, that's because we got the Dolphin games. Anybody care about that?
No.
And then you got Game Night with Eddie K, 9 till 1 a.m. Wow. So anyway, I Googled Brady. Why do I keep calling him Ryan Anderson? That's a harness driver. Brady Anderson. 3 former, this is on the DL is the name of the page. It's the same as page 6 in the New York Post, gossip, but baseball gossip.
Okay.
Blast from the past, it says, file this under old rumors. This is dated Wednesday, March 8, 2006. 3 former Oriole buddies decided to take a European vacation. 2 were unmarried. The third opted to leave his wife at home. 2 of them hooked up. One of them an obvious bisexual. One of them apparently on the DL. The third guy got drunk off his ass, hooked up with various women. Watch out for those strong Mai Tais, it says. Now, there's a whole bunch of responses here, of course, replies from readers. One of them says, 2 of them are easy to figure out. Brady Anderson, long rumored to be gay or bi. with those runaway S's. He is a real screamer. Scott Erickson, they were best friends. And possibly Jimmy Key. Well, just because a gay person has a best friend, that doesn't mean the best friend is gay, like Scott Erickson. But Anderson and Erickson, who has only been married 1 year now, at least as of this writing, got in trouble with the team on numerous occasions, once for leaving the team without permission while in New York to travel back to Baltimore to go to a concert. Oh, how sweet. On that occasion, the other culprit was Sidney Ponson. Who's that?
Ponson. He's a pitcher.
Ponson? Poisson? Sounds fishy to me. Sidney what?
Ponson.
Yeah, who's he?
A pitcher.
A bitch?
Pitcher.
Anderson is now the father of a child by his reported girlfriend, some rock group singer. Erickson is now married to Lisa Guerrero, the Best Damn Sports Show. And Ponson is still single, and it says here, I certainly hope the Cardinals know what they've gotten themselves into, because it sounds very...
Gay.
Who knows? What do you think of Sidney Ponson?
He's
fat. Do you think that Brady Anderson calls him Thidney? Maybe the spokesman called him Thidney. Oh, tonight's going to be the last game of the Stanley Cup Finals. The Anaheim Ducks will lift the Stanley Cup. They'll be drinking from the cup.
A lot of people watching that, huh?
Yeah, here. Not there. Nobody be watching it there. And that's because they got that Doc Emmerich doing the game, that twerpy Doc Emmerich with a bad hairpiece. 885 votes. Boy, you're going to make 1,000 easy without even breaking into a sweat. 889. They're coming in chunks for Chris. They want to support old Chris. I don't know why. They feel sorry for fat people. Not all fat people. They feel sorry for some fat people.
That was fun.
I know. Favorite Democratic contender, 889. This is important stuff, man. It bodes well for my man Barack Obama. He is the man, and you have to be deaf, dumb, stupid, and retarded not to see that. Although Maureen Dowd's got a column critical of him today about how he zigs when he should zag. I'm not going to read it. I put it on for tomorrow's website. Speaking of that, if you don't have a whole lot of articles up for the website tomorrow, means I stayed at Woodbine like all night.
Yeah, you should do that.
Winning thousands.
Just keep gambling with those quarter machines.
Nickel machines. I thought I'm only allowed for nickels. You know what? This is what it boils down to. When I get there, I'll do whatever the hell I want. How's that?
There you go.
891 votes. A generous, wonderful human being like me that's going to put your check in the mail in a couple of weeks.
No, wait on it. It's for next month, man.
Well, what do you mean wait on it? Why is that? You're going to blow it if I wait? I don't understand that. I offered to send it soon. Oh, that's right. I don't want to do it this month anyway.
Yeah, I'm not due.
Didn't know you were pregnant.
I know Duff was in there this morning, but I didn't realize you guys were that tight. 896 votes on the poll. We're approaching 900, boys and girls. We'll make the 1,000 easy, man. It's going to be like falling off a log on your ass. Favorite Democratic contender, Barack Obama, 302, 33.7%, over a third. Speaking of turds, Hillary's second. She's got 15.1%, 136. He's got way more than double. No, I'm a Republican, 115, 12.8%. I don't believe that. And the number keeps going up and up. We got a lot of Republicans out there. Well, wouldn't that be something? Does that really mean that they're going to vote for Republican after this debacle, after this disaster?
Probably.
Oh, boy. Dennis Kucinich. Little Dennis has got 114. He's not right there with Hillary almost. John Edwards, 111. Dennis beats him out in this crowd. Bill Richardson, 59. He ain't no Bobby Richardson. He's a good man. Bill Richardson, but he's from New Mexico. Who the hell knows from New Mexico, you know? Right?
Right.
Mike Gravel, 50. And Chris Dodd finally got another vote. All right. Solamente 9. Only 9 for Chris Dodd. From Connecticut, or as some idiots say, Connecticut. You know how there are people who say Illinois?
Yeah.
And Chicago and Connecticut and things like that. You know what they are? Stupid. They're illiterate. They're dumb Americans, which there's an awful lot of them, man. Especially, there's John McCain's.
And if he'd gotten the
Bomb your ass. Yeah, get out of here, John. You're a crazy person. Although I noticed they must have patted down his cheek last night because his cheek wasn't protruding so much. I'm seeing, not that I watched it, but they're showing the clip right there now. Mitt Romney, who looks good. You know, in fact, he was a former, like, a model or something like that. You know, he looks like a guy.
Okay.
What? Well, no, compared to these other people, he's a good-looking man. Not that I like him or anything like that. He's way too old for this queen. But he makes a good appearance. And Bella Figueroa. There's that cheesehead, Tommy Thompson.
Not the one, the United States.
He drank water from a creek. He was an outdoors guy. Another yahoo, man. Cheesehead. 900 even, boy. I just can't believe it. You're going to get that 1,000. We don't even have to. I thought we'd probably have to really push. when you got a short show like this. Puts a lot of pressure on us. Now, let's see. We got no Mad Dog this week. We got Geldy tomorrow, and then, of course, on Friday. Oh, my God. That schedule. Remind me tomorrow not to read the schedule for Friday.
I'll do that.
I may commit sausages if I have to do that. They can't force me to read the schedule. I mean, I like to cross-promote. I like to tell you what swill we got. I mean, good stuff on here. Like that. Things like that. Too bad that NASCAR race wasn't on Monday, you know, because I sat down at noon. I was going to just bail out of here at noon and go watch the race.
Well, good for us it wasn't.
Then come to find out I couldn't. I probably could have found it here, though, because I don't have Channel 7 here. It probably was on TSN or something like that, wouldn't you think? Sure. Or on Fox, right? I have a Fox affiliate here, which I rarely turn on. And we even have Fox News here, too, which I never turn on. If my set automatically, it just blocks it out. If you got a good TV, it blocks out anything having to do with Fox. Unless it's an NFL game. Isn't that interesting how we hate Fox News, but Fox Entertainment, they got some good shows on there. And then they got some sporting events that we want to watch, too, like NFL, right? Like half the games every week. Like when the Patriots kick ass this year. And by the way, Trent Green just turned 86. He used to look really good, too, Trent Green. I know you don't believe me, but...
A little too old for you now?
He's 37 now. I saw that picture of him in the paper that the Dolphins signed him into the whole deal. And poor Dottie's Culpeppers, man, they just kicked him in the ass. When a guy is down, they kick him in the ass. Oh, there's that thing. And Fred Thompson, boy. Giuliani's dropping like a rock. He went from 37% in March to 30% in May.
About 30, man.
Wow. How about old McCain there? Bomb, Moran. How's McCain doing? Huh? Can you do it? They got the graph up there, but they don't want to. They're bleeding it. Now, who's that moved up? 19 to 22 to 22. That's Fred Thompson. Isn't that who that is?
Well, it's in between
that's
the two
McCain.
of them. Yeah.
That's McCain. Thompson from 11 to 11 to 12. He's making a big move. He went all the way from 11 to 12%. He hasn't got a Chinaman's chance in purgatory. And Mitt Romney's gone from 8 to 9 to 10. I think that's a very strange chart, isn't it?
Yes.
A bunch of communists at CNN put it up there, so they're trying to, like, play with your brain.
This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
Yeah! Ain't ready. What's up, y'all? This your boy Z Mike.
All right.
See, I usually do songs with, like, hooks and concepts and shit, right? But that, man, I'm trying to go platinum. So I'm about to rock this shit. Check this out, y'all. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. R-E-A-D-S-B-O-O-K. 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 Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Book. R-E-A-D-S-B-O-O-K. 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 Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Body needs water, so drink that. Body needs water, so drink that. Your body needs water, so drink that. Your body needs water, so drink that. Buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Deodorant, 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 deodorant.
Okay, everybody's singing it. I'm going to give you a warning, advance warning when I play it again. I'll probably play it 20, 30 more times before 12:30, and then you can roll down the windows, driving around with your windows down, and crank up. Read a book. Read a mother effing book. I likes it. 9:44 on the pool. Jesus, we're going to have damn near close to 1,000 by 11 o'clock, for Christ's sakes. How do you like that, Chris?
Very good.
Man, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but you might think we had somebody listening out there for crummany's sake. Fans trumpeting the cause of CBS's canceled drama Jericho have caught the network's rear ear. CBS deluged with calls, messages, and shipments of nuts, signifying viewer displeasure, is reconsidering its decision, a source close to the production said today. They're getting shipments of nuts. The source spoke on condition of anonymity because he wasn't authorized to comment publicly. A decision on whether to bring the show back, probably for a mid-season run, is imminent, the source said. We are tired of the networks, not just CBS, tossing aside quality programming, was the message carried by JerichoLives.com, one of the several websites protesting the cancellation. Enough, Genug. We're going to fight for this one, it said. Clark Ingram, a Jericho fan from Pittsburgh and a spokesman for Jericho Lives, said he was optimistic that CBS would find a way to revive the drama about a Kansas town isolated by a nuclear terrorist attack. Well, I sure hope they don't cancel that one with the brothers. What is that called? Supernaturals.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the brothers that are sleeping in the same bed? It's a small bed.
Mm-hmm.
People would paint this as teenagers in tinfoil hats rallying behind the show, said Ingram, 50 and operations manager for 2 radio stations. That's not what this is. These are educated professionals. Look it up in the book. Professionals. The show's daring premise, its writing and acting, make the case for its survival, he said. Several factors could work in the show's favor. It appeals to the young adult viewer sought by advertisers and was one of CBS's most popular shows streamed online, indicating an audience beyond the measure by traditional ratings. CBS may also be considering the dent a long hiatus put in the show's viewership, the same scheduling misstep that hurt ABC's Lost and NBC's Heroes. The network apparently has been impressed by the display of viewer passion, which included the delivery of 50,000 pounds of peanuts to the New York offices in the season finale. A character replies nuts to a demand that the beleaguered town of Jericho surrender. Nuts. So you see the symbolism there? Right. Very, very clever. Not. So they got 50,000 pounds of peanuts. Oh, the things that people get whipped up about. You know, it's enough to make you sit down, put your head in your hands, and just cry like a baby. That's the same response that U.S. General WW2 made to a German demand for surrender at the Battle of the Bulge. Nuts! And that's what I was checking for when I had my hands down Brady Quinn's pantaloonies there. Anyway, it says there's already been one positive outcome. CBS is donating the protest peanuts to charities, including ones that sends care packages to troops overseas. I'm sure they'll just love all them nuts. Oh, my God. What is that? Is that embarrassing or what?
Pretty nuts.
Pretty nuts? Maybe that's what Brady Anderson and Scott Erickson went a little bit nuts there in Roma, huh? When they went on that kind of side trip. Off on their side. Hey, listen, to each his own, man. I hope they had a good time. And I hope somebody can butch Brady Anderson up. Or better yet, just don't put him on the air again, ever again. Bad idea. Bad idea to put somebody who's a screamer. Who talks, you know, he doesn't look like a screamer, but he sounds like one.
Now, so he's not worse, because I can't really recall the last time I heard him speak. He's not worse than, like, Jeff Garcia.
Along those lines.
Oof.
Not that flaming. I mean, there's nobody, even Richie Simmons ain't like Jeff Garcia. And he's married, too, you know, to that hot, whatever the hell her name was.
Mm-hmm.
Carmela Bisiere.
Yeah, right. Do we believe that one?
They're married?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got married.
Oh.
Don't worry, they're not doing any touching or anything like that. They probably don't even live in the same town. 965 votes on the poll. I'm just flabbergasted, man. I mean, we started okay. We had like 760-something at the beginning, so I knew we'd get to 1,000 by 12:30. But Jesus K. Schwartz, man, that's a lot. Favorite Democratic contender? Well, of course, it's easy pickings here. It's one that everybody's got an opinion on, unless, of course, they're Republican, which 12.5. What do we got? Oh, yeah, right. That's a phony baloney number. They're freeping it today. They're freeping that thing. You see that? Up to 15.2% of this audience aren't for any of these people because they're Republican. Likely story. They probably put it on one of those freep things, you know. One of those right-wing lunatic websites. Anyway, we don't care. Barack Obama, 315, 32.6%. None, I'm a Republican, 147. Total bogus, 15%. No way. Hillary, 144. Dennis Kucinich, 121. John Edwards, 116. Bill Richardson, 60. Mike Gravel, 52. And Chris Dodd finally got into double digits. All right. Soltanto 10, only 10. Poor Chris Dodd. He looks presidential. If you know Chris Dodd, you know who that is?
No.
Senator from Connecticut. You never seen Chris Dodd with the white hair and the
Senator from Connecticut? No, I don't.
Connecticut, yeah. And Barack Obama, he's from Illinois. And Hillary, she's from Hungary. Oh, there's the Pope. Vatican security breach. Look at this guy. He hopped right on the old Pope-mobile. And the Pope, he didn't, of course, he didn't see it. It was behind him. Pope never bothers looking behind because, you know, he's always got his hopes up.
That was great.
What?
I just watched it too on CNN.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
The guy they didn't let it go. They didn't let the guy hop on the back of the Pope-mobile again. And the security guys, they came along and grabbed his ass. Yeah, what are you doing? I wonder if the Pope is like the Queen, you know, Queen Elizabeth. I guess not, because every now and then you can kiss his ring. And the altar boys, they can kiss his rhymes with ring thing. But at any rate, the Queen, the etiquette is you don't touch the Queen. You don't shake her hand. You dasn't touch the Queen.
That's right.
Now, if you look good, you can touch this Queen, but that's another story. I'll give you the signal. 978 on there. I'm going to tell you, by 11:15 we'll have 1,000 votes, and then we can lay back and just take a deep breath.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain.
You fairy.
Any questions?
Real American a-holes. Real American a-holes. We salute you, Mr. Public Restroom Toilet Tissue Dispensary Filler Guy. Mr. Public Restroom Toilet Tissue Dispensary Filler Guy. On the food chain of life, you are an amoeba. Ow! Even the cart return guy mocks you as you head to the supply room to stock up. Gotta take some mints now. While your peers acquired their job skills at the local community college, you learned everything you've ever needed to know in that rancid turlet at the corner gas station. Put a tiger in your tank now. When you take your work home with you, it usually involves some sort of nasty rash. You don't get tipped, but there's a certain satisfaction to coming to the rescue of an IBS sufferer on Taco Day. Ay, caramba! So we salute you, Mr. Public Restroom Toilet Tissue Dispenser Refiller Guy, your plunger, your lanyard, and your calluses. You are a real American a-hole.
I'll tell you one thing, you're a real hero if nature is calling and you've done the good job and filled that slot up, right? Nothing worse than going to a public tea room and sitting there and all of a sudden you look over in the toilet paper dispenser and it's either empty or real close to it. And then, of course, you can do that thing that what's-her-name was promoting. That crazy bitch, you know, the one square toilet paper. Who was that was doing that?
I don't remember.
Sheryl Crow.
Who?
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow. Oh, my God. Talk about Miaskite. And a crazy person on top of it. Anyway, so the Felix the Cat guy, one of my chronic MySpace people, says that the Poisson guy, whatever his name is, Poisson, was that his name?
Okay.
Poisson. He's from Aruba. He had a drunken spent Christmas in jail in Aruba for punching a judge. Says, I never heard he's gay. I don't think that story said that he was. It said he was out there doing all them hot chicks, and the other two guys were staying in a room together. You know, they were just hanging it out. Whatever they were doing. What difference does it make, you know? Just because they're
gay.
They're entitled to their happiness. Oh, and speaking of that, Texas Baptists stepping up, fight against clergy sexual abuse, talking about the religion and perverts, which go hand in hand, of course. Everybody knows that. Even though they continue subsidizing it, which I really raise both eyebrows about that. That would be like my subsidizing the thievery at Woodbine, although I'll be going at 12:20. Don't forget that music now, boys. Okay?
I got some KC and the Sunshine Band coming.
Oh, good. But hopefully it's long. Their songs are short. How long is it?
4 minutes.
Oh, good. Perfect. The Baptist General Convention in Texas has begun posting on its website the names of convicted sex offenders who have worked as ministers in affiliated churches as part of new efforts to stop clergy sexual misconduct. Stop doing those things, you crazy bastardos. The convention posted the names of 8 convicted sex offenders last week. The BGCT, I thought that stood for Beasley. Oh, that's BBGI. Oh, you don't want to buy BBGI. The BGCT is concerned about the problem of clergy sexual misconduct, and we care deeply about its victims, said Emily Prevost, a staff member of the Dallas-based Convention of Getchkes. While some of the listed offenders are in prison, the convention doesn't have information on those who are free, and it can't guarantee they're not working at a church, Prevost be saying. The convention also plans to cross-check a database of registered Texas sex offenders against staff lists from affiliated churches and add the names of any pastors with a background of sex offenses. Prevost said the point is to give the churches a tool when they're considering new hires. I have a great line for that, but Joyce would plot. She would have a nervous breakdown. She would have the Green Apple Quick Step for weeks. About 2.5 million Texans belong to 5,600 congregations affiliated with the Baptist General Convention in Texas, the largest statewide Baptist convention in the nation. Its affiliated congregations are autonomous and free from convention control. The churches hire their own pastors. Austin resident Krista Brown, who's worked on Baptist issues with the Survivor Network of Those Abused by Priests, SNAP, said Baptists haven't come to terms with the extent of clergy abuse problem. The new steps are more than other conventions have taken, but still aren't enough, she said. These are very small and inadequate steps, she said. The Reverend Benjamin Cole, pastor of Parkview Baptist Church in Arlington, has urged Baptists to do more to protect children in its churches. I commend the Baptist General Convention in Texas for their proactive determination, and I pray that Baptists all across the country will follow suit, he said. I pray that all you Getchkis all across the country will stop with all the fairy tales and give it all up for Lent. Just give it up for the summertime. And you'll be amazed at how easy it is, and stop subsidizing this nonsense and putting all your energies and faith into a bunch of fairy tales is what it is. You know what a fairy tale is? I bet you Brady Anderson's heard a few fairy tales.
That's what I hear.
The Texas Convention also said it'll make it easier for churches to report sexual misconduct by pastors. Scott Erickson, by the way, as I recall, was a pretty good-looking guy. I could be wrong about that.
Well, you would know.
I do know. But didn't he pitched for Minnesota before the Orioles, right? Or was it after? Whatever.
I believe so.
You believe so?
I remember him on the Orioles. I don't.
Mr. Marlins baseball expert, you better Google Scott Erickson right now and see his checkered career. The convention keeps a list of pastors accused of sexual misconduct, such as adultery. Oh, boy. That's a bad one. Names are added to the list either through convictions, a confession, or a report from a church. The list is kept confidential, although churches can request confirmation of whether a particular job candidate is on the list. The nature of the offense is not released. They don't want to talk about that because it's dirty.
You're right, by the way.
Minnesota
before Baltimore.
Right, well, I just tell you. I know my crap, mister. I don't watch no baseball games, but I know my crap, especially when it's a good-looking guy. Then I really know my crap. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know exactly what I'm saying. Like when I said Dalton Jones the other day, believe you me, you started heading for some pictures. In the past, churches that reported, I wish I could find some. In the past, churches that reported names for the list were required to have substantial evidence reviewed by a lawyer. The conventions decided to waive that requirement at pastors' names if church officials are convinced of the misconduct. Joe Trull, a Baptist ethicist, that sounds like an oxymoron to me, a Baptist ethicist, called the new moves a giant step. He urged the convention to start a hotline for people to report sexual misconduct allegations directly to the convention. Prevost said the hotline in India is under consideration. They're taking it in hand. And the idea, too. 1,023 votes. Boy, we are... I don't know what's going on here, man. I have no idea what's going on. Now, the trend tomorrow may not be spectacular, but I guarantee the one after that is going to be just ass-kicking. Don't you feel it? Can you smell it?
I feel it.
Definitely. They're out there, man. They're back. In spite of that lead-in. Whatever. 1,024 votes. No, look at that. I think none of them are Republican may have to come off of there. But then again, that would screw us on the 1,000 votes. They're freeping it. It's bogus. Even you guys can see that, right?
You don't think there's a good amount of Republicans that listen to this show?
Let me say it again. It's being freeped. There are some, but 17.3% of this audience are Republicans, and we started out at about 10%, whatever the hell it was. It's being freeped. See, you don't understand the creeps that freep. You don't understand their mentality. They all get on their right-wing Freedom from Religion Foundation and a couple of those other ones. No, that's not the one. That's the one I like. Well, what's the one? Freedom from Religion Foundation is great. That's Annie Gaylor. See, I'm all whipped up because of that Woodbine crap. You know the one I'm talking about, these right-wing nut jobs. Anyway, they freak. They post all these bulletins on there. Oh, freak the poll on NeilRogers.com. And like the one we did on gun control that time. Oh, brother. They got spastic about that one. They got all the NRA people on there. Look at that. The number keeps going up and going up and going up. Now it's 17.4%. None of these, I'm Republican. Right. Likely story, okay? Of course, we welcome all the Republicans. Maybe we want to wise some of them up. I doubt it. Your favorite Democratic contender, Barack Obama, 329. The only reason he's down to 32% is because that bogus number keeps going up. None, I'm a Republican, 179. Bogus, freaked. Hillary, 149. Dennis Kucinich, 126. John Edwards, 120. Those two are battling it out for the rear end. Bill Richardson, 61. Mike Gravel, 54. And Chris Dodd is holding steady as she goes, with 10. Solamente 10 out of 1,028 votes. I'm going to tell you, if that freak thing continues, I'm going to start getting a little, little ornery, don't you think?
Okay.
Or not. I mean, we really don't care, They do it to bust my balls. I'm like, oh, we're going to show them a thing or two. Ho, 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 ho. Like Jolly Joe, that early Santa Claus deal. Ask me if I care. No, we don't care. In fact, everybody can put on there, I don't like any of these people, I'm a Republican, and we don't really care anyway, because we know you're full of crap. We know you're just freeping. And you know the kind of people that freep? Creeps. 10 past 11 at 560 WQAM. It's the Marlin pregame, the warm-up show. I should get some music for the... Oh, that's right, you got the music.
Got it.
Which I already knew that, but just gave me an excuse to play a little.
Oh, here, let me...
Going to preview some music? Okay, Gacy. I wonder if he knows Scott Erickson and Brady Anderson. Maybe he does.
He's their boogeyman.
Is he really? I was thinking more like...
Yeah!
More like that. If I was going to, sample a little bit of music. Anyway, let's get back to the show here and quit with the music crap. Next thing you know, we'll have Ricky Ticky guesting on the show. Wonder how he's enjoying his retirement. Don't let me forget on Friday to turn the monitor on here so when Dave Johnson calls, I'll be able to see it on bat line.
So when's the last time you took a call, by the way?
1842. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. When was it? We tried...
About a week and a half ago, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Why, is it disturbing you that we're not...
No, I was just curious. I hadn't, before this week, I actually hadn't listened to the show a lot the previous week, so I didn't know if you were taking calls, and obviously you're not.
Eric in pink has put, you can see a banner on top of our poll. Please feel free to freep our poll. The proceeds help to fund our gay agenda. Attaboy, Eric. Every time they do that, he puts that crap up there. He gets very incensed when they start freeping it. And, of course, he can just take that whole thing off of there. But I don't want to do that because then we lose 185 votes, some of which are for real. And we dip under 1,000 again. And then, see, it would be like shooting ourselves in the feet.
Me, oh, God. Won't tell you a story about a woman I know. She ain't exactly pretty. Ain't exactly small. 4, 2, 3, 9, 56. You can say she got it all.
Rosie, big, fat, lesbian, loud Rosie, attacks innocent, pure Christian Elizabeth.
Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver.
He's at it again.
Rosie's a loser. You know it, and I know it.
Then they kicked me out because they said I had no talent. I have no vengeance towards the company, so I'm simply happy about the fact that it is finally over.
I would like to make one thing perfectly clear for Rosie. Enough already.
She'll fail because ultimately she's all about failure.
I'm a bigger lesbian than you.
Lesbian or Midwestern?
I'm king lesbian.
This is the kind of a thing a girl does if she's very ugly or a lesbian.
It's 17, what'd I say? I said she's fat. 1,065 votes on the poll, and I checked freerepublic.com. That's the site I was thinking of. That's one of them, where they freep like crazy, and they put messages on there. Oh, be sure and freep this website because, even though it's not theirs. It has nothing to do with them or the people who read that right-wing maniacal crap, the swill they put on there. But we're not on there. I checked it. So maybe it's someplace else, or maybe it's just a bunch of goofballs. Because that's up to 18.4% now. And see, even Josh is going to have to admit, in spite of the fact he's saying, oh, you got a lot of Republicans listening to this.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe also that they don't like any of the candidates.
Now it just went up. No, none. I'm a Republican is what the poll says, okay? Now, if you want...
That's the only none.
We can put none of the above.
There you go.
Put that on there. Then you'll see it zooming up there. I don't like any of them. How's that, Chris? I don't like any of them?
Put it on now.
Get it on there right now, man. 18.7% Republicans, my ass, okay? And speaking of Republicans...
Sure, see it as Mary Snow has some of them.
Oh, my God, there's that bunch of losers there last night. There's John McCain. Bomb the stage. President Bush drew sporadic, startling criticism last night from Republican White House hopefuls, unhappy with his handling of the Iraq War, his diplomatic style, and his approach to immigration. I would certainly not send him to the UN to represent the U.S., said Tommy Thompson, the old cheesehead, former Wisconsin governor and one-time member of Bush's cabinet, midway through a spirited campaign debate.
Romney, who's been taking direct aim at McCain.
Arizona Senator John McCain criticized the administration for its handling of the Iraq War, and former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney said, I think we were underprepared and underplanned for what came after we knocked down Saddam Hussein. Which doesn't sound like we shouldn't have been there in the first place, and he lied through his teeth. All those people are dead for nothing based on lies. That would have been a lot more honest, Mitt. Representative Duncan Hunter of California, whoever the hell he is, said the current administration has the slows when it comes to building a security fence along the border with Mexico. They have the slows. You know what I mean? They got a bad case of the flows. Just kind of like our management at QAM, you know. They're going to get around to doing a little something, but not real soon. You know, they got the flows. Representative Tom Tancredo of Colorado recalled that the White House aide Karl Rove once told him, never darken the door of the White House. The congressman said he'd tell George W. Bush the same thing. Well, criticism of Bush was more in keeping of the type of rhetoric that could be expected when Democratic presidential contenders debate. Its prominence at the GOP event, while Bush was traveling overseas, was a reflection of his poor poll ratings and the need of even members of his own party to campaign on platforms of change. The Republicans sprinkled the criticism of Bush throughout a 2-hour debate that ranged over topics from war to immigration legislation pending in Congress to religion. Oh, hallelujah! Praise the Lord! Because I got news for you. As long as these Nazis are in charge, you ain't got a prayer. I beg your pardon?
No, you said praise the Lord. I just hit the Jesus button.
The debate was the third of the accelerated primary campaign. Oh, that was Mo saying, Jesus Christ? I'm sorry I stepped on Mo. Oh, I'd sure like to. None of the 10 men on the debate stage raised their hand in agreement when moderator Wolf Blitzkrieg of CNN asked if anybody favored allowing gays to serve openly in the military. Not one of them said yes. I see. Oh, that Nazi Senator Sam Brownback of Kansas and Hunter both said they would pardon Vice President Dick Cheney's former aide Scooter Libby, sentenced to 30 months in prison earlier today for lying and obstructing the CIA leak investigation. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, former prosecutor, said the sentence was excessive, which argues in favor of a pardon. Oh, my God. How do you like this swill, huh? Giuliani had the central role in an unscripted moment of humor. Asked about a Rhode Island Catholic bishop who criticized him for supporting abortion rights, Giuliani began to respond when a lightning strike briefly interrupted with the debate hall sound system. Look, for someone who went to parochial school all his life, this is a very frightening thing that's happening right now, he said, to laughter. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, what a crock of crap. The debate drew the announced Republican presidential contenders, but not former Senator Fred Thompson of Tennessee, an actor apparently poised to join the race in a month's time. My name is Thompson. I'm the candidate, not the actor, said Tommy Cheesehead Thompson, and a jab at the man who wasn't there. Fred Thompson, appearing on Fox News after the debate, said he had watched part of the give and take among his potential rivals. They did all right from what I saw, he said. Yada, yada, yada. They did okay, said Fred. Right, said Fred. Now, here's the facts that says you could tell, Neil, some people are Republicans and listen to the show because we have a good sense of humor, and I love my gun, says a long-time listener in Delray. P.S. Screw Joyce. Oh, yeah, we got some. But we sure don't have 19% of the whole audience Republicans, and that's what it's up to now, even after we added none of the above, which has a quick 7 vote. But you just keep piling them on there, because now we got 1,094, and just like Eric says, the proceeds from all these votes help to fund our gay agenda. And he puts it with a pink banner right there on top of the poll. That's sweet. That's sweet. I bet you Brady Anderson's going to be voting a whole bunch of times. He likes it when it's pink. I bet he likes that Brady Quinn picture, too. Well, you know, Brady and Brady. I wonder if they got together, would they have a Brady bunch? Probably. Reprising his role, or is that reprising? How do you say it? You don't say it.
Reprising?
Reprising his role as the candidate most willing to buck Republican orthodoxy, Ron Paul accused the government of intervening in the Middle East to protect the interests of powerful oil companies during last night's Republican debate. You go, Ron. You got your thumb right on it, baby. A little bit of honesty never hurt. It had to do with oil, Paul said, of the U.S.'s involvement in overthrowing the premier of Iran in 1953. He said that was Mossadegh. He said U.S. policy in the Middle East has continued to be pursued primarily in the interest of obtaining oil. Paul also criticized U.S. tax breaks and other subsidies given to oil companies, but he didn't criticize large profits earned by oil companies on the open market. The Texas congressman pivoted to the critique of U.S. intervention in the Middle East in response to a question about what the U.S. should do to fight global warming. He joined other candidates in encouraging more use of alternative fuel sources and domestic reserves of oil. Rudy Giuliani seemed to take the most environmentally stringent view of all the candidates, calling for a national initiative to develop alternative energy akin to the Apollo space missions that eventually sent astronauts to the moon. We have to accept the view scientists had that there is global warming, Giuliani said. Wasn't that something? And like maybe there might actually be evolution and things like that, but you never know it from that group they had there last night. You'd never, in fact, there ought to be a revolution, not just evolution. 11:01. Wow. And as the bogus votes keep pouring in there, the numbers keep going on up. Well, that's good, because we only have another hour and 7 minutes, but who's counting? 19.2% say they don't like any of those Democratic candidates because they're Republicans. Do you believe that? No. That's out of 11:01. Do you think we could do 12 again today, Chris?
Way it's going, we might be able to.
In 2.5 hours?
That would be something special.
That would be, I'm going to tell you, on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, Christian Science Monitor, New York Times, Washington Post, L.A. Times, Weekly Reader, the Jerusalem Post,
and the Enquirer.
And the National Enquirer. Not to mention the Star and all of these others. The Sun. Who's your favorite Democratic contender? Barack Obama's kicking ass on this show, and you'd expect that, because he's obviously the man. You have to be an idiot not to see that. Or a racist. Barack Obama, 346. None, I'm a Republican, 212, 19.2% of which probably half are bogus. We'll take them. You got a vote, we'll take it. You got some money, we'll take it. Hillary, 153. Dennis Kucinich, 132. He's actually right on Hillary's ass. John Edwards, 122. Bill Richardson, 64. Mike Gravel, 54. Chris Dodd got another one now. Soltanto Undici. I had a pause there for a second. Yeah, that's 11 in Italian. Undici, or once in Espanol. I know my numbers, mister. When I see a good number, believe me, I know it. And none of the above's got 7. You don't know your Spanish or your Italian? Undici, dodici, huh?
Definitely not.
Get with it, man. If you're going to go travel all over Europe like you're projecting with us, pretending.
Yeah, pretending would be better work.
Espanol. If you want to be in Spain, you're the one talking Spain. And, of course, you live in the perfect place to pick up pica de pani. You'd think that if you grew up in Coral Springs, or at least went to school there, you'd know your Spanish.
Really?
I don't know. You wait another 5 years, there won't be any Anglos left in Coral Springs. You'll see.
I doubt it.
Huh?
I doubt that.
What? Oh, you don't believe me, huh?
No.
You been to the Broward Mall lately? Neither's anybody else. Uh-oh, there's Hitler.
Of the district.
Looks just like George W. Bush with a silly mustache. What do we got on there? 11:15. Boy, I think you're going to make $1,200 a day. I'm going to tell you, in a short show leading into a Marlin game, if we can do $1,200, Joel Feinberg may commit sausages before the train comes out tonight.
Always liked him.
Class of 2007. In a few moments, you will collect your degrees. You will leave this campus with a priceless lesson about the importance of the English language. And as you go forth, I ask you to lead lives of crime and drugs. And if you do, you find benefits you'll never imagine. We see it in the historic new commitments our nation has made to alleviate purpose and character. And so I ask the class of 2007 to plant these ideals in American soil and lead lives of crime and drugs. If you do, you will lead richer lives, and you'll never be disappointed. My congratulations to you all. Class of 2007.
Oh, I know there's no God now. Look who's on CNN.
Here's what happens.
Here's what happened. It's Ricky Ticky Sanchez. Blah, 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 blah. Like that, doing that kind of stuff, okay? Wow, that is really sad. Now, you know, I'm telling you, CNN needs to be taken out. I don't mean taken out for a walk or taken out for dinner. I mean taken out, just eliminated. When in doubt, take them out. Isn't that what Tessio said?
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Can't do it, Sally.
Can't do it, Sally. Then it gives that nod to them like, go ahead and bada bing. You know, we don't want to see him no mo. Of course, neither one of you are like Godfather Mavens. You're not like students of it like, you know, some of the rest of us.
I'm a big fan. That's good enough.
Out to the legislature building.
All right. You go, Ricky. I think his tongue got caught around his bicuspids. 1,129 votes on the poll. We got about almost an hour to get to 1,200. Boy, if we can do it by 12:30 before the Marlin starts, before the Marlin game just blows away the entire audience. Those Marlin broadcasts blow, all right, believe you me. Kind of like Joyce. A top Clinton aide draws criticism from unions. Oh, boy. The presidents of two large labor unions have written to Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton to complain that Mark Penn, her pollster and chief strategist, is chief executive of a public relations firm that's helping a company fight a unionization drive. In a letter sent Friday, which a labor official released yesterday, James P. Hoffa, president of the Teamsters, and Bruce Rayner, president of Unite Here, wrote that they did not want to see Mrs. Clinton or the Democratic Party embarrassed by the anti-union activities of Mr. Penn's firm, Burson Marsteller, one of the nation's leading public relations companies. If Hillary is pro-worker and pro-union, she will certainly take steps to rein in Mr. Penn, Hoffa said in an interview. He can't serve two masters, working for a pro-union candidate and working for an anti-union company. In the letter, Hoffa and Mr. Rayner said, "It's with distress we write you today," adding that they valued Mrs. Clinton's positions on many worker-related issues. Yeah, I can only imagine her positions. I bet you she likes it Doogie style. They said the public relations firm's activities in the effort, now that was really bad. That was a low blow. But you know what? It could be true. Who knows? They said the public relations firm's activities in the effort to undermine workers' right to organize at Cintas, a campaign our unions are involved in, is particularly disheartening. 4 years ago, the two unions began a major drive to unionize 17,000 workers at Cintas Corporation, the nation's largest uniform rental company. Cintas, helped by Burson Marsteller, has responded with a vigorous and thus far successful effort to resist unionization. Mr. Hoffa and Mr. Rayner, whose union represents apparel, hotel, and restaurant workers, noted that they had learned of Burson Marsteller's anti-union activities in an article last week in The Nation. Their action comes as Mrs. Clinton prepares to speak at an AFL-CIO forum on Saturday in Detroit. Mr. Penn did polling for Bill Clinton when he was president, long been a top advisor to Mrs. Clinton 30 years ago. Mr. Penn founded a prominent polling firm known as Penn, Schoen, and Burland Associates. In December 2005, he was named chief executive of Burson Marsteller. In interviews, Hoffa and Rayner stopped short of calling on Mrs. Clinton to disassociate herself from Penn. Rayner said she ought to send a clear message to this guy Penn that she's unhappy about this union-busting stuff and that he shouldn't be associated with it. Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. Well, it's just another black mark on Swillery's faltering campaign. We can only hope. Oh, I see. Andrew, Speaker, I knew he wasn't going to be there in front of the Senate. He couldn't.
God, that guy is like bright red.
He's calling in from the hospital in Denver. Yeah, the guy on the right, he's turned red. I think he's catching it over the phone. I think he's got tuberculosis. Look at that. He's got that same shade that Brady Quinn had in that picture where I had my hands down his pants. Doesn't he? That's Tom Harkin, by the way. Just turned red. Maybe he's swearing again. Let's see what we got on here if we're going to make that 1,200 or not. I mean, there's no sense in making a lot of noise and then falling short. 11:41. 11:41, we got 25 and 30 is 55 minutes for 59 votes. Piece of cake. Although a lot of people are diving for the dial now, because I mentioned the Marlin game and the pregame's coming up at 12:30. They're diving for the radio dial.
It screws up all my arrangements.
Exactly.
Where'd you get the new drops?
From Chicken Neck.
Oh, there you go.
From Chicken Neck.
Tell Mike it was only business. I always liked him. Tom, can you get me off the hook?
For old time's sake.
For old time's sake.
Can't do it, Sally.
Can't do it, Sally. He said, "Don't call me Sally," and then they give him the old bada bing. Where's that other thing? I played it before, the whole thing. Can't find it no mo. I know we got this, though.
I kept saying, Michael Corleone did this, then Michael Corleone did that. So I said,
yeah,
sure.
Oh. Anybody who doesn't like The Godfather will be shot on sight. We're just going to go driving around town, and if we're going to have a big sign up there. Honk if you don't like The Godfather, and if you honk, you'll be a honky. 1,141 votes on there, and the Republicans 19.5%. It's just not possible. Impossible is what it is, and that too. I'm going to work on some pregame music. Not the one you're talking about, not the KC1 for after the last break.
Did I change it up? You're not liking that?
No, I do like that. It's fine. It's perfect. Little gay. Especially now that we had the story about Scott Erickson and Brady Anderson. And that Poisson guy. Sounded fishy to me. No, I'm just talking about from like after this next break until like that last one. You know, because I want to make happy those little old ladies out there. All he does is talk about his vacations and the Marlin game and when he gets to go home and go to Woodbine and plunge his guts out. You know, that crap. That bunch of nasty old bitches. Sows. Boy, for a second there, I thought I was going to have a runaway S. I had to reach out there and capture it.
They're just jealous.
I beg your pardon?
They're
jealous. They're jealous because I got a pretty good schedule. Okay, I got a pretty good deal. You won't hear no complaints from me, even though I work for a bunch of bozos. Bunch of idiots. You won't hear any complaints from this kid. That's my New Year's resolution on the 6th of June. Boy, today is already Wednesday. I'm sitting here thinking it's Tuesday all day. I don't know why. How can it be Woodbine Wednesday and it be Tuesday? I don't know. I guess I'm just stupid in my old age. Isn't that possible? Maybe my old-timer's disease is kicking in.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're right about Tom Harkin, though, man. He looks red as a beet. And then the guy behind him, though, looks, I don't know, darker. That black guy sitting behind him there?
I'm not watching that crap anymore.
Oh, good. Good talk. Because they keep showing a picture of this other guy, Andrew Speaker. Mr. Speaker, he's in the hospital. He's got TB. And they sure as hell weren't going to bring him in there and put him in the middle of the Senate. And then all of a sudden everybody started coughing and gagging and puking up blood and stuff like that. That would probably not have been good. Maybe he's a terrorist. Oh, Jesus.
Go to Brooklyn. I hope Mike can get us a good deal tonight. Sure he will.
Sal, Tom, the boss says he'll come in a separate car. He says for you two to go on ahead.
Hell, he can't do that. It screws up all my arrangements.
Well, that's what he said.
I can't go either, Sal.
Tell Mike it was only business. I always liked him.
He understands that.
Excuse me, Sal. Huh?
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Can't do it, Sally.
Hey, Survivor fans, the next great summer adventure is on CBS Thursday. Join the wildest crew to ever set sail.
Big, fat, lesbian, loud Rosie attacks innocent, pure Christian Elizabeth.
High stakes, high adventure on the high seas.
And I'm not doing it. But you don't have to. Let me do it.
A new series guaranteed to kick booty. CBS Thursday. Watch your back.
Son of a bitch!
Kick booty, boy, if Rosie's there.
Wrecked him.
Big target. 11:44, 16 till noon. Just 16 and 30 is 46 minutes away from the Marlin pregame show. Wow. We love the Marlins. When they play in the daytime, they split that doubleheader yesterday. They lost the first game. They won last night, I guess, which I didn't pay too much attention. Tonight's the fifth and last game of the Stanley Cup Finals. Anaheim Ducks will kick ass over Ottawa Senators and the spokesman, BM. No more BM, baby. The spokesman, who's crying and whining. Wah, wah. Too bad. Too bad, spokesman. That Spezia, he sure ain't playing too good. That Spezia, you know. What do you guys know? I mean, you would know a hockey game if it broke out in your living room. Now, you've been to a few games, right?
That's correct.
No, I'm talking to Josh.
He's not sitting at the chair at the moment.
Where'd he go? He didn't go out to make a run, did he?
I don't think so, but he just gets up and leaves, so who knows?
He just gets up and leaves?
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, you've been to a few games.
Yes.
And you would know Jason Spezia if he came in there and cross-checked you in the face right now, would you?
That's correct.
Well, that's okay. He's number 19, except when they rip his jersey off and he wears number 44 for a couple of minutes. That was kind of amusing. 1,160 votes on the poll. The freeping? I don't know about the freeping. Now, what do you think?
About what? Are they freeping it? Who knows? Does it really matter at this point?
No. Now, in your case, we got 1,164. You know you got your 1,200. In fact, I have a feeling we're going to have more votes by 12:30 than on this poll than we did at 2 o'clock yesterday. And you want to know why?
Because it's a better poll?
Yeah, because yesterday's poll sucked. It was a crappy question. It didn't arouse their curiosity. It didn't, elicit their interest. But this is whatever. We had the Republican debate last night. Sunday night, the Democratic debate. I didn't watch either one of them. I have no interest in why. Yeah, until we get, to a point where it means something, Till we get to within at least 6 months of the freaking election. Not June 5, 2007. Give me a break. But, kill some airtime. 1168, 19.4%. None of these, I'm a Republican, and then none of the above has got 27. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's what they were doing. Did he ever come back or not?
No, not yet.
Was he in the magic room, or is he just wandering around a building, or is he
I wish I knew. I mean, he just
out drinking vodka with a Russian girlfriend. I mean, what is that? What's that all about?
Well, I think he's forgotten what it's like when you know, if you need to go do something, you go right when the break starts. Because yesterday and today, like, he'll be sitting there for the first 2 minutes of the break, and then all of a sudden he'll get up and walk out at like
a little
minute and a
light
half
bulb
left.
will go off over his head.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a cell phone call from some of those male admirers on the website.
Maybe that's what it is.
That could be it. Well, we got 1,170 votes, and we're pleased as punch about that. The audience coming through for us. We'll find out tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. sharp, whether they really are going to come through for us with those with those diaries. I don't want to say wired diaries. That would be a bad thing to say, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Like the ones that they had across the street back in January. And the ones that they had, I think it was like was it a year ago? How long have they been on the air peddling their swill?
Well, they've had the Dolphins for 2 years, so they've been on the air for almost 2.5 to 3 years, I guess.
Yeah. And when they first went on, I never forget as long as I live, they had that 1 month where they had a few wired diaries, 18 to 34-year-old males, and every place else they were like zeros, zeros and fractions. And they started peddling the story. Oh, that's going to be our thing, man. We're the younger, hipper. We got the 18 to 34-year-old males. And then, of course, after that 1 month with the bogus diaries, they all dropped off and they never came back again.
Your boy's back.
Oh, our boy's back. Now, where did you go during this break?
Where do you think, man?
To the magic room.
I tried to make it happen in 2.5 minutes, but I guess I couldn't do it.
You're just not the expert like me. I'd been back before the first spot finished, and you know that. You've seen it.
That's an amazing gift you have.
What do you mean by gift?
It's a gift.
That's a gift.
I looked at how much time I had, and I'm usually decent, but 2.5 minutes, I just can't pull it off. I need to sit there like at least 3.
You can't pull it off?
Can't pinch it off.
Oh, I see. Oh, jeez.
He's gotten out of practice since he left the show.
12 minutes before noon and lunchtime, and he's talking about can't pinch it off. You know something? That sounded a little excretory to me. Don't be starting with that kind of crap. Uh-oh. Anyway, we're kicking ass. We're going to do our 1,200 plus, way more than that by the game time. Aren't you excited? Chris is all whipped up about it, and he was ripping you an ass. He said you keep wandering around the building, He said you just don't know how to time your departures there well. You sat there the first 2 minutes of the break, and then all of a sudden in midstream, like, well, I guess it reaches that point where nature is calling. You say, well, I'm debating. Should I? Shouldn't I? And then you say, oh, yeah, better. I should.
Yes.
Right. I've been there. Supposedly, writes Larry Barnhart on Alternet, we're in a sustained economic recovery, have been since 2002. Part of this is Bush hot air and Republican noise machine, which the media quotes verbatim. By a certain measure, however, it's real. The economy has grown. Corporate profits are at an all-time high. Average income is up. There's a lot of money around. But the recovery has some really strange features, oddities never before seen in a recovery. On jobs, during Bush's first term, the U.S. actually lost private sector jobs. It finally improved in 2005, and now job creation is almost keeping pace with the increase in population. Still, overall, it's the worst record since Hoover, the fellow who presided over the onset of the Great Depression. How do you have a recovery without creating jobs? On income, yes, average income is up during the tenure of the current administration. The joke about average income is Bill Gates walks into a bar, the average income of every person in the room immediately goes up 10,000%. But median income, the amount that people in the middle of the group earn, barely budges. So let's look at that figure. Median income is down. The average person makes less now than when Bush came into office. Not only that, the downward pressure on wages is no longer just a blue-collar issue. It's moved up to white-collar workers, the educated class, even doctors. How do you have a recovery when people are making less than before the recovery? Cost of living. Key factors of the cost of living are much higher than they were 6 years ago. In particular, fuel is up 100%, higher education cost up about 44%, healthcare premiums are up 80%, and affordable housing is scarce. Normally, when the cost of living goes up, we have inflation, but we've had low inflation during the Bush years. How can the cost of living go up while the cost of money stays low? Here's the most peculiar stat of all, the Dow Jones Index. You may have been hearing that the Dow Jones Index is an all-time high. It's true. However, it's only 16% higher than the day George Bush came into office. By comparison, when Clinton left office, the Dow was 320% higher than when he first came in. 320%. It's a very rough measure, of course, and there are many others, but by that measure, during the Clinton years, investment in America's leading business had grown more than 3 times over. Under Bush, it's only grown 16% in 6 years. Since the Consumer Price Index is up 18% over the same period, when the new all-time high is adjusted for inflation, growth is effectively below zero. It's kind of like some numbers we see in those arbitrons.
Oh!
Below zero. How can there be a recovery in which not even businesses grow? When a government wants an economy to grow, it throws money at it. The administration did that with spending on pharmaceuticals, homeland security, and a couple of wars, but their most important weapon of choice was tax cuts for the rich, especially on unearned income, capital gains, inheritance, dividends, and interest. This was sold and accepted on the myth that the rich, the investing class, are the most creative and daring members of our society. Just unleash them, and they'll march off into the wilderness, actually urban or cyber, with sacks of cash over their shoulders, and they will build things. Factories, airlines, housing, toys, computers, undreamed wonders, entire new civilizations with jobs like an Ayn Rand novel. But that's not what happened. Because a shortage of cash wasn't the problem. The country of the world is awash with cash. The good old risk-for-rewards version of capitalism, the burghers investing in a daring sea captain sailing to the Indies, still exists. In recent years, it's given us FedEx, Walmart, Apple, Microsoft, and Google, but alongside it over the last 50 years, the economy of credit has grown up. In vastly oversimplified terms, the credit economy works like this. You own a house, it's worth $100,000. Somebody buys the house, no money down, they borrow that money. Let's say it's a straight-line 8% 30-year mortgage. Forget closing costs, points, any other complications. That's a $220,000 debt. It goes on the bank's books as an asset. Now you have $100,000. The bank's got $220,000 on paper. The buyer has a house worth $100,000. The bank has a lien on it, but the buyer will be gaining equity. Plus, he can get a second mortgage and home improvement and other loans on it. Again, this is a vast oversimplification, but that transaction has created something like $420,000 that is now in play as part of the economy. No thing has really been created, no new business, no product, no jobs, no idea, no intellectual property, no entertainment, but money has been created. If you buy a dress on your Visa card, or organize a consortium to buy a company, the same thing happens. Debt creates money. In every transaction, there's profit to be taken off the top. A perfect example of the transformation of our society into a credit economy is the change in the way we finance higher education. States and even cities used to be in the business of building universities that were free or nearly so. These were financed up front with tax money as an investment in our human infrastructure. Then in 1965, the student loan program was invented. This changed the higher education business into a debt creation business and created a whole new creditor class, college graduates, who were handed along with their diploma debts of $10,000 to $50,000 or more. The number one industry in America today is the money business, debt swapping. In a closed economy, that might have a positive effect as people look for something to do with their money, not perhaps as a general rule, but an economy like ours, handing out money to rich people is the least effective way to make a healthier, stronger economy that benefits society as a whole. There are two reasons. The first is that the Ayn Rand fantasy is a fantasy. For the most part, where people with millions of dollars get an extra 100,000 or several hundreds of thousands or even millions, they invest it passively in financial instruments and real estate. So we get, for example, a real estate bubble, which is worse than a dot-com bubble because the dot-com bubble is symptomatic of the excitement of investing in new high-risk but high-reward enterprises that are producing new things. A housing bubble is symptomatic of lots of money floating around with nowhere productive to go. The other reason is that insofar as investment does go into business, in terms of our society, there's a hole in the bucket. The hole is called globalization. I'm writing this on a Mac. When I bought it, the money went through American Express, which took a few points, to Apple's headquarters in Cupertino, California, where Steve Jobs dipped in his ladle. Then the rest poured out through a hole in the bottom of China, where it was actually made. That's the economy the statistics describe. Lots of money is moving. As it passes through the company profits. The company isn't going to build anything, so profits are spent on executive compensation. The actual work is outsourced, the money flows out, and no jobs are created. Nor does the actual business grow very much either, except as a middleman taking American money and passing it on to foreign businesses and oil producers. At the same time, this creates downward pressure on normal working people. Remember those old movies with 200 men at the factory gate, a foreman inside with 3 jobs to give out saying, you, and you. The rest of you go home. Those 3 lucky stiffs didn't demand health insurance, pensions, or job security. Now it's India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, the Philippines, Mexico, Honduras, China, Korea, and many others at the gate. American companies tell their workers they have to be competitive. Not only do wages go down, but benefits begin to disappear. This is combined strong anti-union, anti-worker effort by government supporting the anti-union, anti-worker efforts of major companies. This may be bad for America as a society, but the people in the money business love it. Indeed, it's the trick that makes Bush economics work for people in the money business. Bushonomics. That includes anyone who invests in financial instruments. The problem with pumping out money, printing money, is that it creates inflation. Money lenders hate inflation. If I loan out money at 8%, and by the time the creditor pays it back, inflation is up 8%, then my profit is 0. The profit margin in lending is, in a significant part, the difference between the rate of the loan and the rate of inflation. Really high inflation and worse runaway inflation is, of course, a threat to everyone, but moderate inflation with rising wages favors debtors and hurts creditors. So how can you pump out money while keeping inflation down? In Bushonomics, you do it by keeping a lid on earned income, even driving it down. Millions upon millions of people earning a little bit less take away from the pressure of a few people earning millions upon millions more. That, along with the flood of low-cost goods from low-wage countries, helps balance out the inflationary pressure of rising costs in certain industries like oil, healthcare, higher education. It's not a question of conservatism versus liberalism, of government versus free markets. All economies of necessity are mixed. All governments are concerned with the wealth of their nation. Government decisions will always affect how business operates. The question is, does the way government spends and invests create a sounder and healthier society, or does it merely make certain sectors and classes rich while hollowing out our economy? If we are to invest in public funds through government or borrowing or spending through simply spending tax revenues, we have to be aware that rich people running around with bags of money won't necessarily do what's good for the wealth of our nation. They may run us into bankruptcy the way the smartest guys in the room ran Enron into bankruptcy. You following all that now? You watching the bouncing balls?
Yeah.
Well, when you're making the kind of money you guys are.
Yeah, it really affects us a lot.
And take a puke at that, Chris. $11.97.
They love us.
That is scary. And what just happened here? Oh, that's right. I chopped that damn thing off. Don't you hate when I turn the pot off because I'm in the middle of playing whatever the hell I was playing? Probably something that we can't play on here. Well, that's okay. We didn't need to hear the guy with the deep voice thing.
Radio 560 QAM.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Joyce the bitch should get fired. Joyce the bitch should get fired. How the hell did she get hired? Joyce the bitch should get fired.
Absolutely.
I highly respect the corporate lawyer. So she may say, but she ain't. Here's a bitch who don't have a clue on what she's doing, but somehow she tickles their taint. Smells like an egg. Joyce the bitch should get fired. Joyce the bitch should get fired. How did that dumb broad get hired? Joyce the bitch should get fired. The sourpuss pulls up with boats, sticks her ass where her nose should not go. You don't belong here. Get a teaching job at Regent and stop destroying our show. She blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired. She blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired. She blows. How in the hell did she get hired? She blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired. Everyone at QAM. Joyce the bitch should get fired. She blows. She blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired. She blows. She blows. How did that dumb broad get hired? She blows. Joyce the bitch should get fired.
I think the ending just does it for me. I don't know about you, but
I like the whole bit.
The whole bit is just fine.
Whole thing.
1,212 votes, 12-12, baby. I think that's more than we had at 2 o'clock yesterday. And I think that's because we got a trillion people listening, number one. And number two, it's a universal poll. I mean, anybody with an IQ larger than their thumbnail's got an opinion on this. Unless, of course, it's somebody who's kind of dumb, you know. Like that. Who never reads a book.
Yeah!
Not a magazine, not a sports page. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Girls Gone Wild creator Joseph Francis. The headline on this really cracks me up. It was in the Herald. Girls Gone Wild boss says jail beats Florida. And who could argue with that? Girls Gone Wild creator Joseph Francis, granted bail in a federal tax evasion case in Nevada, will remain in jail to avoid being sent back to Florida, where a judge refused to set bail in a state criminal case, his lawyer said Tuesday. We had hoped he'd be out today, defense lawyer David Houston said, but in light of the Florida court ruling, his lawyer decided he should sit tight behind bars in northern Nevada. If he's released on bail here, he could be arrested on the Florida criminal case, Houston said. Francis, 34, was taken into federal custody May 14 in Florida after serving a criminal contempt sentence in a separate civil matter. He arrived in Reno on Monday. He appeared during a hastily scheduled hearing later in the day and pleaded not guilty to tax evasion. U.S. Magistrate Robert McQuaid said bail of $1.5 million cash and imposed other restrictions on his release. Among other things, Francis, who owns a home on Incline Village in Lake Tahoe's East Shore, was to surrender his passport, avoid using his private jet, and restrict travel between L.A. County, California, and Reno for court appearances. He was also required to check in daily with court personnel in Southern California. Arrangements were being finalized for his release when the Florida ruling was issued. I just called off the flights, Houston said. If I post bail, Joe Francis goes to Florida, and it took us a month to get him here. There's no reason for me to want to send him back to that environment. Now, you could take that a lot of different ways. Of course, this guy don't want to go to the Slammer in Florida, but nevertheless, that environment, Florida, hurricanes, tornadoes, Dumbos.
Oh, my.
What is it?
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Old farts. Now, I wonder if we can play old farts. We can't play regular farts, but what about old farts? Joe Grammer, spokesman for the Florida State. And as a matter of fact, you know why I haven't even played that today? Not even just a little bit of it, which is bad.
Ain't no
Fart sounds anymore. I think a day without just a little tidbit of that is a bad day.
Ain't no fun sound
Like before. There we go. Doesn't that make you feel better?
Yeah, a little bit.
I love how you sing along with it every time. It's great.
Oh, yeah, I'm good at that. I can't sing, but I sing that one pretty good. Joe Grammer, spokesman for Florida State Attorney Steve Meadows, said Circuit Judge Dee Costello on Tuesday revoked Francis' bond on 2003 state charges of using minors in sexual performances, conspiring to use minors in sexual performances, and prostitution. Oi. Now, maybe you can explain this to me.
Okay.
See, I've never been able to understand. I'm just talking generically. I'm not talking about if you met somebody specific who you just was a knockout and you fell head over heels, just went nuts, you know, and they were like underage. They were 17.
Yeah.
Maybe a few months shy of 18. I could understand that. But in this particular case, or just in general, guys who like young people, I'm not talking about children like your family priest likes. I'm talking about, you know, teenagers.
Okay.
Why not find somebody who already turned 18? You see what I'm saying? Why would you? Yeah. Do I make a good point?
Yes. I mean, personally, I don't like to mess with girls that are 21 and up.
Really?
So they can, you know, there's no
If some
restriction.
hot 19-year-old chick came in
Oh,
there
yeah.
with big boobs.
Of course, I'd do her. I'm just saying.
Really? You would do her? Now, is this the same guy that was saying yesterday about how he wouldn't cheat on his
Well,
girlfriend?
no, I mean, you know, hypothetically. You know what I mean?
Oh, you would do her hypothetically?
If I didn't happen to have a girlfriend, I would.
Oh, I see. She also ordered Francis held on new state offenses of possession of a controlled substance and possession of contraband. Francis was charged with those while in Bay County Jail last month after he was accused of bribing a jail guard for bottled water to swallow unauthorized prescription sleeping medication. Unauthorized prescription sleeping medication. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. Grammer said he was disappointed that federal officials in Nevada had granted bond in the tax case. I'd be disappointed if he were released, but at this point I don't think he's going anywhere. He said Francis estimates he makes an estimated $29 million a year from videos of young women exposing their breasts and being shown in other sexually provocative situations. Well, what the hell could be wrong with that?
Yeah.
The federal indictment handed up in April alleges his company's man, like I said, can't he find girls who have already turned 18? Why does he have to use minors?
Some girls lie.
Yeah, right. Fake ID, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I wonder what the law says about that. If you found some chick and she showed you an ID and said she was 18 and you did her, and then all of a sudden they come busting in through the door. Aha! It'd be the guy from Dateline. What's that guy on NBC? I can't think of his name.
Oh, God.
You know the one I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Come busting in through the door with a camera crew. We gotcha! Gotcha! She's really only 17. Well, she just showed me ID, said she was 18. It's a fake ID. Gotcha. Because that seems to be the deal now, yeah? Getcha, gotcha, stuff like that. 1,219 votes on the poll. Your president and Laura Merkel. At least he's shaking her hand this time, not squeezing her shoulders. Look at the way he's shaking her hand, like a jellyfish. She probably thinks, boy, what a putz. And you know what? She'd be right. We're going way over 1,200 on this poll. I bet you Chris is going to be running around the building screaming. He's probably got a megaphone.
Oh, yeah.
After the show. We got 1,222 votes already. Oh, yeah. You did it. It's all you. Barack Obama. Who's your favorite Democratic candidate? Barack Obama, 379, 31%. None, I'm a Republican. Finally went down a little bit. 232, 18.9%. We don't believe you. Hillary, 169. Little Dennis Kucinich, 138. John Edwards, 130, and that really nifty, expensive haircut. And that silly-ass southern drawl, y'all. Bill Richardson, 71. Mike Gravel, 57. None of the above, 35. And Chris Dodd, he's stuck there at Once.
Radio, 560 QAM, your community-minded sport hole station, presents Ask the Management. Here once again to answer your questions, the two-faced windbag manager of WQAM and one-time boardwalk pitchman, Jolly Joe Bell.
Ho, ho! How did they know that? Went by the name of Shoeless Joe Bell back then. Ho, ho! Why, I still have a case of Rolex knockoffs in my trunk. Ho, ho, ho. Let's get right to your calls now, shall we?
Is this Joseph
Felicia May Bell?
Joe Bell here.
This is a courtesy call from American Express. Your account is 6 months delinquent. When can we expect you to make a payment?
What's your question?
The question, Mr. Bell, is when
Oh,
can we
I've got a
expect
car
payment?
here. Oh, hello?
Yes, is this Joseph Bocephus Bell?
Joe Bell here.
Mr. Bell, we're about to foreclose on your house. How soon can we expect?
Who are you? What's the meaning of this?
We're from the IRS. Give us your belongings and come with us, please.
So, what are you in for, chum?
MWI.
MWI? You were drunk when you managed?
Oh, no. I was under the influence that I could. I'm ruined. They took everything. All I have left is my virginity.
A virgin, huh?
Yeah, a little joke.
Oh, look. I dropped $1.
Oh, I'll get it.
Hey, wheel, bitch! I said squeal!
Ever see Jolly Joe and Ned Beatty together? Same person. 1,230 votes on the poll. I bet you Chris is going to run all over town. He's going to. You could use the exercise, by the way. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. No response to that, huh? You couldn't use the exercise?
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I'm noticing that it's 12:16. I only have 7 minutes left. And you know what I need to do in that 7 minutes?
What do you need to do
now? Or I could do. I
Put
got to play this.
on?
Because I've only played it once.
Yeah!
Isn't that correct?
What's up, y'all?
And I threatened to play it
It's your
again.
boy G Mike. You see, I usually do songs with like hooks and concepts and shit, right?
Don't you feel compelled that we need to play it one more time?
Yeah, that'd be good.
But that man, I'm trying to go platinum. So I'm about to rock this. Check this out, y'all. Read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book. Read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book. Read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book. Read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-A-B-O, raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Body needs water, so drink that. Body needs water, so drink that. Your body needs water, so drink that. Your body needs water, so drink that. Buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Where deodorant, 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 where deodorant. Coffee stick, it's not expensive. It's coffee stick, it's not expensive. It's coffee stick, it's not expensive. It's coffee stick, it's not expensive. Read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, read a book, read a book, read 'em all. Book, R-E-A-D-A-B-O.
Okay, who says it's not an educational show, baby? You learn a lot from that. 12:19 at QAM. We got the Marlin pregame show in 11 minutes at 12:30. Not that I'm counting.
Oh!
You understand?
Not at all.
Not at all. And you got that music cranked up? Boy, it's going to be great. I'm going to make a quick exit out of here. And my computer's turned off. How many votes we got? Gentlemen.
Checking right now.
So you're probably looking at porn sites. You're not looking at our website. How much? 1242. Yeah. You got to be kidding me. That's a humongous number. Even Chris is impressed by that.
Oh, very impressed.
Even Mr. Administrator of the pool is military pushed out, says anti-war veteran. Veterans protesting the war, that's not honorable, the military says. This is from Raw's story. An anti-war veteran who wore his uniform during a protest of the Iraq War would not have received honorable discharge from the military reserves under recommendations delivered by a Marine Corps panel Monday night. In a case that former Marine Sergeant Adam Kokesh and his supporters say could become a landmark in defining the free speech rights, the panel recommended that Kokesh receive a general discharge under honorable conditions from the individual ready reserves. The panel stopped short of recommending the other than honorable discharge that Kokesh appeared before the panel to protest. Kokesh said the military recommended the general discharge, which allows him to keep benefits afforded to veterans in an attempt to make the case disappear. Kokesh and his supporters say that will not happen, and he said he's willing to take the fight all the way to the federal court if necessary. You go, boy. They pushed out and took the easy way out. He said they could have taken a firm stance one way or the other, he told Raw's story yesterday, if they really believed in what they said they believed, and other than honorable discharge would have been appropriate. The case hinged on military regulations that prohibit active duty troops from wearing their uniforms during political demonstrations. Kokesh argued that he wasn't subject to regulations in the Uniform Code of Military Justice because of his membership in the individual ready reserves rather than the active duty Marines, and the Marine panel agreed he wasn't subject to those regulations. Members of the military who have served less than 8 years have to complete their military commitment in the IRR, which requires they keep in touch with military superiors and be ready to serve if called upon. In March, Kokesh participated in a demonstration in Washington organized by Iraq veterans against the war. Wearing his desert fatigues, with his name, rank, and the Marine Corps logo removed, Kokesh and the other demonstrators performed mock patrols of Washington in an effort to show visitors to the nation's capital what life is like in Iraq. When he was informed in an email from a superior officer of the possible violation of uniform code, Kokesh was offended at what he viewed as an attempt to silence dissent among veterans. He replied to the email and expressed his opinion that the military should have more important things to worry about and signed off with an expletive. Our kind of guy. F him. Following that exchange, Kokesh was informed that he faced an other than honorable discharge, and he and his supporters chartered a bus to Kansas City to appear before the panel yesterday. The general discharge he received is one step below the honorable discharge he received when he left active duty. How do you like that, baby? The fascist in action. That's America for you, man. Can't complain about our freedoms no more, because guess what? We don't have any. Are you all set to a rock and roll here now?
Think so. I got a 4-minute song ready.
4 minutes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a deal to me. Now, if I lose today, I'm going to be blaming those people who forced me to go. You know me.
Well, get ready to lose.
And get ready to take some crap.
I'm your